While the world is sleeping, when the biggest concern of some people in other countries is choosing their weekend entertainment program, a nation is burning in Afghanistan, a nation is being slaughtered by the terroristic group of Taliban and Pakistan, the breeding ground of terrorists. An innocent nation falls victim to a proxy war. Afghanistan is bleeding for the interest of other countries. Stop Taliban, stop their supporters, and stop war and human rights violation in Afghanistan. Do not recognize Taliban as the government of Afghanistan. Stand with the people of Afghanistan.
They invaded my country, violated my rights. They killed my Afghan brothers and sisters. They killed the children.
Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 3. Everyone has a right to life, liberty, and the security of person.
Pakistan, supporter of terrorism, invaded our territory. They bombarded Panjshir to mute the voice of liberty. They killed our hero members of the national resistance movement. Isn't this the violation of international law and the principle on which UN is based?
United Nations Charter, Article 2, Paragraph 4. All members shall refrain in their international relations from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state.
I wanted to study. I wanted to help my fellow Afghan women who have been suffering from violation for decades. But they took away my chances. They ignored me. They ignored my dreams.
Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 26. Everyone has the right to education. Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms.
And also about their cabinet, they announced their cabinet members and all our Taliban members. There are no single person from other tribes. If the Taliban government will be legitimized by the world, it won't be beneficial for the region and also for the world. So, for the sake of humanity, I request the international communities, please, do not legitimize the Taliban government until it's inclusive and they consider the demands of Afghan women.
Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 21. Everyone has a right to take part in the government of his country, directly or through freely chosen representatives.
The Taliban committed genocide in Panjshir. They are killing protesters. They killed a pregnant woman police officer in front of her children. But the world turned a blind eye to it, and the human rights defenders just watch it. We are human rights defenders, or just human rights for Western countries?
As an Afghan human rights lawyer and a women's rights advocate, I urge the United Nations and the international community to stand by Afghan people and put an end to the explicit violations of human dignity, human rights, and women's rights that are happening by the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Can we pause for a moment and point out to the fact that at least 14 members of the Taliban's new cabinet were in UNSC's terrorism blacklist? And every second people are being killed and tortured in Afghanistan just because they are speaking up. And you know what's the worst part? There's no freedom for speech or media. So whatever we are seeing on media about Afghanistan is not even a fraction of what people are going through there right now. After all the sacrifices, people of Afghanistan deserve a government that gives them their very basic human rights. We want peace in Afghanistan. We want to be safe. And we want education for women.
Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 5. No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment.
As an Afghan human rights lawyer and advocate of women's rights, I urge the United Nations and the international community to hold the Taliban accountable by not recognizing their illegitimate and exclusionary government, which has been continuously violating principles of international law and human rights law. A new government's recognition from the UN members must be conditioned to respecting human rights law, international law, and the fundamental freedoms and achievement of the past 20 years of Afghanistan and Afghan people.
The Islamic government is shooting at our poor people. These people are very unjust. They're not human at all. They don't give us the right to demonstrate. They're not Muslims, but infidels. You can see the situation we're in.